Hi YouTube and welcome to my channel. My name is Patrick and today we're going to talk about Linux viruses. So you might be wondering to yourself, Patrick, I thought Linux doesn't get viruses. Well, take a look at this. What you see right here is a list of Linux malware that I've collected over the course of the last few days. And let's just pick one at random here like this guy and drop it in the virus total. And you'll see that this is a Linux Trojan, and basically it's a whack attack Trojan. That's interesting. So you might be wondering, where did I get all this Linux malware? Well, quite simply, I set up a honeypot on the public internet, and I allowed anybody to connect to it, anybody to upload anything, and I collected all of this malware in the course of a few days. So you might be wondering, how does a Linux machine get a virus? Well, mostly in the same ways a Windows machine does. Obviously there's social engineering, there's misconfiguration. A small amount of the time, it'll be due to a vulnerability. But remember, Linux runs 90% of the internet. It is a big target. People often say, oh, Linux is safe because so few people use it. And that's just not true. The majority of web-facing servers are running Linux. And so it's actually a lot bigger of a target than people think. Like I said, the cause of a virus is only because of vulnerabilities a small amount of the time. And remember, Internet of Things devices, IoT, they often run Linux. And also, Linux machines often have no antivirus. So what kind of viruses are out there? Well, there's the usual affair. There's botnets, DDoS botnets, Trojans, backdoors, Bitcoin miners, and you can't forget ransomware. So, you might be wondering, do I need to worry about viruses on my Linux machines? And to answer that question, I have a couple more questions for you. Is it internet facing? If it's internet facing, then yes, you do need to worry about viruses. In order to mitigate that, you need to set up automatic patching and also consider using an antivirus on your internet-facing Linux machines. And also, if you ever go online and run scripts that you find on the internet, and be honest here, because I'd wager 99% of people using Linux have gone and ran a curl to bash command. If you're doing that, then yes, you do need to worry about viruses and malware. And a good way to mitigate that is just by not doing that. It's a bad idea to do a curl to bash in, command running some random script on the internet. And also, Flatpaks and snaps sometimes have malicious intent. I want to show you some examples. So this was from about a year ago. The Snap Store was hit with crypto stealing apps. So again, this is malware, right? And it's in the Snap Store, or was in the Snap Store. And the thing about snaps and Flatpaks is that anybody can upload anything to those, right? And oftentimes, the apps that you find in those app stores are not uploaded by the developer of those apps, but rather by a third party. So you should really be considering if you can trust these third parties who are uploading the apps for you to download. Like, it's a very real attack vector. And so we've looked at what's going on with snaps, how there was crypto stealing malware in there. Flatpak security is not great. This website, flatkill.org, obviously very biased, but it has some good points. So most Flatpaks come with the file system host permission or file system home permission. And so if they wanted to escape the sandbox, it would take just a few characters right here, and they would be out of the sandbox and can do anything on your system. So although Flatpaks and snaps are great, I love them, I think they're great packaging formats, you need to take the same precautions that you take with any other app when you're installing a Flatpak or a snap. and that means only getting it from the verified developers, only getting well-known software, and straying away from random bits and bobs that might have malicious intent. Now, let me be clear, this kind of thing is rare, right? It's rare for a Flatpak or a Snap to have malicious intent, but this happens. This happens. And in order to keep yourself safe, you can't just go willy-nilly installing anything you like. You need to be deliberate and careful about what you install on your Linux system, just like with any other system. Alright, so let's talk about what you can do about it. So, one option is to run an antivirus on your Linux systems. So I know you might be going, boo, hiss. Look, if your Linux system is touching the public internet, you should probably put an antivirus on it. And I know, Linux doesn't need an antivirus. I mean, just look at this. Look at all of this Linux malware that I was able to collect in just a few days. Linux viruses are out there. Obviously, threat actors aren't usually using vulnerabilities to gain initial access. They're rather using a misconfiguration or some kind of security hole that you created. But they wouldn't be making this stuff if it didn't work. I'm just saying, it's a bigger problem than people say. And, of course, don't run random shit that you find online. Just don't do it. Don't copy that command off the internet. It's a curl pipe to bash. Just don't do that. Just stop. You don't need to do that. If you're trying to do that, really be careful, because that's a big attack vector. And also, you should automate updates and patching. Especially if your Linux box is internet facing, you should absolutely be automating the patching of that sucker, because Linux, just like any other operating system, currently the newest versions have security flaws. They do. It's just a fact. The latest versions of every Linux distro have glaring security flaws. We just don't know what those are yet. But when these updates come out, they address these flaws. You want to be sure that you're installing them in a timely manner. And also, use SSH keys, don't use passwords. This is an obvious one, but an SSH key is so much safer than a password. And the thing about passwords is that they're often easy to guess, and that's the kind of misconfiguration I'm talking about that leads to your Linux box getting a virus. And also, just use a non-sudo account for your daily activities. And it's common knowledge in the Windows world that you don't daily drive an administrator account. But in the Linux world, people are just daily driving sudo accounts like it's no problem. That's not good. And it's an easy win to just not use a sudo account for your daily activities. Yes, it's a little more inconvenient, and yes, you are going to have to switch your user and your shell all the time, but it gives you an extra layer of security that you won't have otherwise, and I really think that it's worth the hassle. Alright, so closing thoughts. In Linux, the biggest weakness is not vulnerabilities, it's you. Misconfigurations are the biggest entry point for viruses. And again, automate scripting? No. Again, automate patching. And for the love of God, don't run random commands that you find online, and don't install snaps or flatpaks from untrusted developers. Anyway, my name is Patrick. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see more content like this, leave a subscribe and click the like button. And also, if you want to see a video where I do a deep dive and reverse engineer some of this Linux malware I've collected, definitely let me know in the comments down below. If there's interest in something like that, I'd be happy to do it. Anyway, my name is Patrick. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great day.